Recognizes the gentleman from Missouri, Mr. Alford, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to speak about the most pressing national security threat to our nation right now, the Chinese Communist Party. The CCP is engaged in a full-scale influence and espionage operation right here in the United States of America. From Confucius Institutes to TikTok, and from spy balloons to intellectual property theft, the CCP's mission is quite clear: to collect our data, to infiltrate our country from within, and to become the world's sole superpower. Mr. Speaker, plain and simple, we need to make a change. We must recognize the significant threat that Communist China poses. We must decouple ourselves from our dependence on China. We must restore strong American leadership around the globe. We must ban our adversaries like China from buying U.S. farmland and put an end to their data collection schemes. And Mr. Speaker, we must stand behind our ally Taiwan. The path forward is clear: peace through strength and a resolute leader in the White House. Mr. Speaker, I want to speak from my heart right now on a subject matter that we dealt with yesterday in the rotunda, not too many feet from this House floor. I was honored to be at the ceremony yesterday for the 13 Gold Star families, the 13 service members who bravely gave their lives 3 years ago on the wall at Abbey Gate by a decision made by a failed administration to get all American troops out of Afghanistan, to leave them there, our allies, clinging to the wheels of aircraft as they tried to escape the grip of the Taliban. It was a flawed decision. This administration never apologized to those 13 families for that critical mistake in our world history. Yesterday, someone finally had the guts to apologize to those families, our Speaker, Mike Johnson. I applaud him for that. And the highest honor that Congress can bestow, the Congressional Gold Medal, was given posthumously to those 13 brave individuals, including Lance Corporal Jared Schmitz from Missouri. I realize that that apology and that acknowledgement and those gold medals will never completely heal those families, but I do think it was a step in the right direction. I was honored to have dinner with some of those families last night, along with Daryl Issa and Ken Calvert and Brian Mast. And sitting down with those families and just hearing their stories and how much it meant to be in that rotunda yesterday, and for our nation to finally acknowledge that it was a mistake. This administration has never done that, and I think they'll have to live with that. But I'm glad that our Speaker, and I'm glad that we came together, and it was bipartisan yesterday in that rotunda, make no mistake. I think we all felt the pain of those family members. And I just left the rotunda and came back over here, and I love going to the rotunda every morning when I can and seeing people come in for the very first time, and they look up and they see the pictures of painted by people like Turnbull and others who have painted representations of our heroes. And to have those 13 heroes, their picture in that rotunda yesterday was very fitting. Mr. Speaker, I just want those families to know that we stand with them. We will never forget them. We have their backs, and I hope someday we can regain their respect. Life is precious, but those willing to give the ultimate sacrifice for our nation deserve our complete respect. And thank you. Thank you to you, Mr. Speaker, to those families and for their service members giving it all for our great nation. Mr. Speaker, lastly, I want to reflect on a day of remembrance today, 9/11. This is now the 23rd anniversary of the fateful day in U.S. history when Islamic terrorists with loaded planes crashed into the World Trade Center. And
Gentlemen, his
let's
time's
keep
expired.
that memory alive. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield back.